So we're asking people today in Clacton, why Farage?
Because he brought about Brexit. That was such a narrow sort of like win streak for him, and I think he's the only one that can promise. Do you know what I mean? He's the only one that seems to have any sort of backbone and stand up and say what people are thinking.
Because he listens to what people want, understands the people from the area. I like it that he's someone who just says it how it is, and nobody else is doing that because they're all, they say, being beneficial with the truth.
We're asking people today, why Nigel Farage?
Because he tells the truth.
Truth about what?
Everything. We've been lied to for years, not just by the Tory party, but all of them.
A lot of people here are voting for Nigel. Do you like him?
Not really. I think he would be a good opposition, but I wouldn't like to see him running the country.
Why do you think he's so popular here?
I think he'd be popular in any town in England, to be honest. Immigration and that.
Why do you think Nigel Farage is so popular here?
Because he's a unit of a geezer, I think, personally, and he gets on the level of young people, you know, and he makes everyone, you know, like not left out, like, you know, especially like if you're from the UK, you know.
So he's relatable?
Yeah, very relatable.
Don't believe in a lot of his views, particularly Brexit. I wasn't for Brexit. Don't like the way he sidles up to Trump. And what he said about Putin, and that we prompted him in starting the war against Ukraine.
Why Farage?
Oh, no, not for me.
Not for you?
He's pro-Trump, isn't he? And now he's come out with that nonsense about Ukraine. No, I think it's finished for me. I was thinking of it before that, but...
Why is he so popular, Clacton? I have not an idea, really. I'm sorry. He's not my favourite man. So I think Nigel Farage actually says it as it is. And I agree with a lot of the things that he does say. He does speak his mind. And of course, Carswell did well, didn't he? Very similar type of thing, which was a bit of a mystery to me. But he got through.
He's real, you know. There's not many politicians are like real like him.
I'll be honest, I quite rate the geezer. The things I hear him say, I don't hear other politicians say. My kids ain't going to get a house too easy, are they? Whereas I'm afraid people from other countries seem to be top of the list.
He realises that there is a lot of corruption, should you say, with the other parties. They say one thing and do something else.
Yeah, he's a cool guy, do you know what I mean? I think he's got a lot of attention from like TikTok and social media. People are like more in touch with like TikTok and Instagram rather than the actual news these days, and that's what he is adjusted to on his platforms and that. You see him like on TikTok and Instagram getting a lot of views and a lot of people like his stuff.
A good speaker, isn't he? And I think people are just desperate to find answers for some of their problems, like the immigration problems, just to try and cut that back.
So he's recognisable. Obviously, he's been around a long time. He led the UKIP campaign that got the Brexit, and I think if it wasn't for COVID, I think we may well have seen better benefits of Brexit. But he's a recognisable person, and he speaks his mind. He says what he thinks, and a lot of the time it makes a lot of sense.
Why Nigel Farage?
He seems to represent the interests of the British people more than any of the people in Parliament. And I think this is what's happened over the years, is people have lost trust in the political elite. So he's quite down to earth when he speaks, isn't he?
Yeah, he speaks about issues that we actually care about, as opposed to just saying what he thinks people want to hear. It comes across as sincere, authentic when he speaks, and he's intelligent.
What is it you like about him?
I like that he seems to care about the English people. And that's important. And I'm not racist either.
I know a lot of people that agree with Nigel Farage. And we're not racist. That's not the point. It's nothing to do with being a racist. It's to do with actually having people that the country need coming in and that are going to contribute to it, as to people that want to just come over to take.
Migration is important, and I think it's unsustainable at the moment, and I think there's more issues that people are scared to talk about through fear of being called a racist. If you raise some of the issues that are about cultural exchange and lack of it,
especially if you're of a certain
Colour.
I think immigration's got to be dealt with. You know, a lot of countries are finding that, aren't they? A lot of right-wing parties are getting in because people are desperate to keep out thousands, hundreds of thousands of people from the southern hemisphere, basically.
We're on the coast. We do get the boats occasionally, they come in. So it's a situation that needs addressing, because they need to have a proper policy. Somebody in charge needs to have something that they can help these people as well. If you look at the immigration, the good immigration, it helps the public services and everything else like that. The people that are coming over, they're on their last resort, and we've always been a country that helps people.
We've got to tackle the French, they're just not doing enough. They've had about, £500 million off us. For what, really?
I don't agree with his policy on immigration. Even though I'm not conservative, I think I like the way that Rishi Sunak is going about it. I think is a more positive way of doing it.
With the deterrent, with the Rwanda plan?
With the Rwanda plan, yeah.
I agree with when he says about when they come over and all of the dependents coming with them. If it's a husband or a wife and they've got the other way round and children, yes, but not to bring over their grandparents and the mothers and the whole of their families to come over with them. There's no need for that.
I just think that the infrastructure, they're building so many housing estates around and that to bring all these new families in from wherever. But the infrastructure itself, like the doctor surgeries and all, travel around, the schools and stuff, that's just been pushed to its limits. And classroom sizes are getting bigger. I think it's going to change worldwide or nationwide if Farage gets in.
Whether it be in a complex of some sort, you'd think, I'm safe. And that's all you'd need, isn't it? You don't have to think, well, I want a coloured television that's this size and put all their requests in. This is what angers normal everyday people, is the fact that they see them getting everything basically.
A lot of the points that he puts forward are very, very true. I'm not saying he's not prejudiced in any way. He just thinks that the people in the UK should be looked after much, much more better than what we are at the present moment.
It strikes me that people are afraid to speak, and I feel like he's given people a voice again, where we've been told you mustn't talk on this subject, you mustn't speak about that, and given people a sense of something to have hope for.
The present government, I've got to be honest with you, I've voted Tory for years, but they've always promised that they'll put money into this town. They've never done it.
Like nationwide, I think everyone's sick to the back teeth of working all the hours they can and having nothing to show for the end of it.
I mean, I'm a chef. I work in an Italian restaurant on the seafront, and to be honest, I don't earn bad money, but just the way that everything is nowadays, I'm still struggling. I don't have any extra money, so cost of living is hard out here, really.
Yeah. I worry more for the youngsters. I'd like to think that they would always have a decent job, certainly housing, certainly something like that. It's a struggle for youngsters to get their foot on the ladder. Private landlords seem to have free range to charge so much for an ordinary 2-3 bedroom house, and they want over £1,000 odd just for that. It's just, people can't afford to do that. They can't afford to go to work, pay that sort of rent, plus their bills, and feed themselves with children. It's not right.
If he gets in, it'll be a little bit of a thorn in the side to the regular parties, and he'll have to make them listen. Right, and that's what we want. Well, I suppose he's got the experience. I mean, he's been in European Parliament for a number of years, so he knows a lot about Europe, and he's been around a long time. I mean, he hasn't been elected yet as a member MP, but he's got the experience, and I think he'd act as a good foil against whoever gets in. I think he'll act as a conscience against the government that does make it.
It's been a disappointment with the current administration is that they've flip-flopped on everything, and they didn't deliver Brexit. was still kind of in Europe. So it's a fake thing that they did. It's the electorate were treated like they didn't vote the right way and they voted wrong. Starmer's saying he'll take us back in. It's like, where's the democracy in that?
My only criticism of Nigel was he maybe should have stayed on the scene longer. Once we voted to get out of Europe, he should have stayed and carried some of that through.
I don't like any of them, to be honest. I don't like Labour. I think the Tories have, shot themselves in the foot.
Don't like Labour. Don't like any of them. I think they're all hypocrites, to be honest with you. I'm sorry to say that, but I just think they are.
I think Labour's projected to get in with a vast majority, and I think that he at least will be a voice against them. He wants someone to stand up and contest a lot of the things that they're doing. So yeah, he'll probably get my vote.
He may get enough votes to be the opposition and push the Tories out completely, which will never happen in a million years. That'll be a change, definitely a change in life.
I don't know how to change at all, to be honest. There's a lot more than just changing one politician, isn't there? But I mean, I'm not even from Clacton, but for me personally, I like the geezer. I think he's all right.
So he's got your vote?
Yeah.
I'm hoping he is elected and he carries out the promises that he's made.